You are confusing me.
Just like how I feel.
We went and got a camper this morning. We went to go look at a fifth
Nice
wheel,
little Shasta.
which we did buy.
Yep.
We went to Keene to look at a fifth wheel, which we didn't buy.
Yep.
And we are on another camper. I feel like we're like the camper rescue
We might
team.
have to have an intervention.
I don't know what the heck is wrong with you. I'm blaming it on you.
Show the people
So,
what we got behind us.
We have a camper behind us, folks. I know. That's a surprise. I know.
1980s Holiday Rambler.
So tell us about
baby, vintage.
Tell us about this camper.
This camper is a camper that my dad bought last year.
Last
He bought
year.
a lot and he thought he needed a camper to park on it. He thought he was going to hang out there and he never did. Then a guy is supposed to be buying his lot decided he didn't want his camper. So he got home tonight and he's been trying to sell it. But what happens is the way people are these days on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, they tell you they're going to meet you at the camper at such and such a time and then they don't show up. So you're sitting out there and the bugs are always terrible out
They're
of this
bad.
lot. We
Yes.
just got ate alive by the bugs. So itchy now. So we go up there to do him a favor to get the camper home because he has no way of towing it. And the jack doesn't work. The jack on the camper, and the camper's pretty heavy.
It's a Holiday Rambler. It's a good, well-built camper.
And the jack doesn't work at all. So luckily we had these great big blocks that we carry around with us and a floor jack, and we jacked it up and we took the stuff out of it. Well, now the jack is sticking down about 1.5 feet, the bottom of it. So you can't tow it like that because you know it's going to hit as soon as you hit a high spot going to the driveway or whatever. So we luckily had tools with us, and we took the broken jack off of the A-frame, threw it in the back of the truck. We're towing it home with no jack at all on it. So to get it off the truck, we're gonna have to use the floor jack again. And he's probably gonna have to buy a jack. Either that, or I'm gonna have to see if I can fix that jack.
So maybe you'll end up keeping this hooked up to the truck tonight, seeing if we can get that jack to work.
Yeah.
So when we put it on, we can just use the jack.
I think the jack, something happened with the jack, overextended, and something inside of it got disconnected.
Okay.
So if I fool with that jack, well, the trailer brakes work really good on this thing. If I fool with that jack, I might be able to get that jack to work.
Well, okay. So Doug,
Hello, dear.
tell the people about what we were just doing.
We just looked at a fifth wheel, not a Toyota, just a fifth wheel. It's a Jayco, smaller one, older one, a 2000. So we must be on a real roll when it comes to these fifth wheels. This is the second one in less than, 3 days that we've driven the truck to pick up and actually passed on them.
But this one wasn't nearly as far as the one before.
No, this one was 15, 20 minutes over the top of the big hill.
Yep.
Over in Keene, New York.
He can handle that.
Yeah. But when we saw it, there was just enough. Again, we could
Watch your
have
speed there, honey.
we could have handled it. Neither one of us liked the way it was set up at all. It had the very low ceiling bedroom in the front part where you'd have to crawl into bed on your hands and knees.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't have been attracted to this camper.
No.
So if I don't like it, I think a lot of other people wouldn't like it. And it had a tough life. It was a rental camper. The decals were still on it where it had been rented. It had water damage, and when they fixed the stuff from water damage, nobody ever fixed anything right. So you had ceilings coming down and walls that were buckling. And the guy had a bunch of stuff in front of it, so you couldn't take it away today if you wanted to. So I think I'm going to keep my money in my pocket on this one. And we'll keep looking for good, decent, used ones that people have actually taken care of and maybe have a few things wrong with them, but are more ready to use.
Yep.
So that's it, folks. We passed on another one.
Passed on another one. But
I told the lady this morning who sent me a message, I said, we actually pass on more of them than we buy. Because some people think that you'll buy anything.
do you think that's true? I don't think that that's true.
You don't think so?
I don't think,
You think we
we're
weed
to
'em
that
out?
point.
We weed them out good enough that
Yeah.
that doesn't happen?
I think most of the time we end up coming home with them.
Maybe just recently.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see them, you're like, yeah, I gotta own this. Hopefully we can come to terms on a price. I
Well,
have to own this.
I also think that a lot of it is
The
when
presentation.
we're going, and well, the presentation obviously is a huge part of it, but when we're going to look at a camper, I feel like we are more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we tend to maybe give a little bit more when it's a vintage camper than a newer camper.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So when we start looking at these newer campers, although it's, 2000 isn't necessarily new, it's 20 years old, but it's newer to what we're used to working on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The appeal is not there so much.
Yeah,
So,
it definitely isn't. If I know I can do a few things and flip them, I'll buy a newer one, but my heart isn't in buying the new ones.
yeah,
Newer ones.
the newer ones, yeah.
I mean, that one we said call it newer is 20 years old.
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's not really old, or it's not really new, but it is new to
It's in
what
that
we're
area
used to
where
that.
80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. Most of those just aren't really worth that much.
Yeah.
They're never going to be worth a lot. They're not vintage yet, really.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to get into the 70s before they start to be like a collector's item type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell people if they're thinking of selling their campers, a word to the wise. I don't know, there must have been something in there that I can barely talk right now.
I'll tell you what was in there, but we'll talk about that after.
If your camper's full of mice, at least get the mouse poop off from everything.
The presentation is huge. If you just take an hour to take stuff out
Take all the
and
junk
clean,
out of it.
just wipe the counters down, wipe
Yeah.
the floor down. Just
an hour could get you another $500 or $1,000
big difference.
for your an hour.
Yep.
And it might be the difference between the people buying it and not buying it at all.
I totally agree.
Because the last 2 days, we've looked at campers that were pretty messy. They had mouse poop all over. And, they were loaded with mice.
We're not talking a little mouse poop.
People's personal stuff piled up all over the place. Garbage left in the campers and
Yep.
things like that. It just doesn't make people want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So they'll just pass on it.
Yep.
And we can usually see past all that stuff.
Yeah.
And if it's a vintage one, sometimes we will look past that. But
Mm.
if you got a newer one and you got that going on, that's a bad combo.
Yep. I agree.
Because that doesn't make people want to buy it.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this off. We've been on for a long time, but we
With
did
a
not
nice
break any records today.
Bumpy
Woohoo!
video in this truck.
But we do have 2 campers at home we need to work on. We need to finish the she shed.
We got
getting
plenty to
closer.
do without that thing in the yard.
Yep, exactly. We need to do some weed whacking, so.
All right, let's whack some weeds.
All right, see you later.
So if you're enjoying the videos, folks, please like, share, but most importantly, subscribe. You'd be amazed what you'll see if you get off the couch. Have a great day.